System 1 loaded. Booting up system. Loading.
Gabriel Valentine.
Loading.
Dan Brozo. This is the Digital Lizards of Doom show live at Meltdown. 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 Meltdown.
Welcome to episode 326 of the DLOD show.
Whoa. You
Just-
look good for your age.
Like, what do you mean, dude?
Actually, wait. That
that
wouldn't,
wouldn't even be that long. That'd be a couple of years. No, this is only episode like 15 or something, 16 maybe.
So cool, though, dude.
Yeah,
Five more
I
episodes, we're going to have our
love-
20th episode.
I know.
So crazy.
What's the 20th anniversary? Is that the gold anniversary? Are we going to have to get each other promise rings?
Yeah.
I've been holding out for you.
Word, brother. Oh, no. One
Word.
Of these.
Word,
15th?
sister. Yeah, we haven't.
Haven't done that in a
When
while.
I don't have good arm movement, I just go like this. I'm like a
Just like a
fish.
a
that's
floppy.
a fish on a dock.
Is your arms
Like
doing
you
the
just
worm?
caught a swordfish and you're just pulling it in off the water, and it's just. Sorry guys.
Anyways,
We-
what's up,
We're
guys?
terrible hosts.
Welcome to the DLOD show.
Yes. Thank you for joining us once again for nerd stuff.
Nerd stuff. Yeah.
Nerd stuff.
So,
So you have a lot, dude. Gabe has been in a weird funk today, and I'm like, dude, you're usually the happy-go-lucky one. I'm the crotchety grandpa guy. Like, what's your deal today, dude?
I'm not very good at balancing like
Your
management
checkbook. No, I'm just kidding.
responsibilities
Yeah.
and also just like artistic. I mean, the
I feel ya.
art and business. It's kind of funny that it makes so much money because art and business should not go together at all. And so just lately,
Those debates to me. I mean, the part of that is that
no, they shouldn't. Just straight up.
no,
they shouldn't.
I think they should
Okay.
because
Yeah, you make it happen sometime.
no, because art. You need the business side of it to get it in front of a bunch of people's eyeballs or earballs, depending on what the art form is.
Yeah.
Without that, you're just a dude in a room making music.
Yeah.
No, the
That's
business
true.
side is what gets a bunch of people to hear your stuff. So he
Yeah.
just put out his EP.
Just put out my EP Dizzy Echo Makeover this past week, and
So as you probably know, there's the DLOD show, which is like this thing that's happening right now.
yeah.
And then there's also the DLOD band, which is like this thing that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
it's been amazing.
it's killing it though,
It's
right?
killing it. Yeah, we have.
He's a humble dude. So I'm just gonna say, you were like in like the top 15 on like the
It's-
British indie charts or something.
by the end of by midday Saturday, the EP came out on a Friday, but
Yeah.
midday Saturday we were number 37 on the UK independent dance charts. By Sunday or Monday it went to 27, and as of right now we are number 17.
Nice,
on the
dude.
independent
Nice.
music dance charts in the UK.
Nice, dude. Nice.
So yeah, it's been crazy.
Good
but
job, dude.
yeah, I'm really stoked. Just with that though, there's been a lot of like I've been contacted by so many people. Like all these people are coming out of the woodwork, and it's like, and you
Gold
you don't know.
diggers.
Yeah. No, they really are. Like, and it's okay to
Well,
say
there's
that
no
because-
gold, but like,
Yeah, there's no gold, but
Yeah.
but everyone's trying to hop on this
I
bandwagon
mean, you
or
got
whatever.
kind of a golden hue to you, but
I
just
guess
trying
so.
to dig on that.
No, it's just crazy, dude. Because like a lot of them are just they're just crappy companies. Like they're
Yeah.
just seeing it because it's being tagged on a lot of stuff. So they're like, I'm
like, let's
getting
jump
a lot
on
of
that.
emails, and it's like, dudes, I'm not, I'm the same guy I was
What
a
are you gonna
week
do,
ago.
though?
There's no difference. But the YouTube video for our track, I Don't Know How to Dance, has been blowing up. It's been really sweet.
Nice.
And
How many you got? Like 1 million, 2 million views?
no, I
Dude,
think
don't you hate that when you're like, dude, I did so good at my soccer game yesterday. I scored like so many goals. And they're like, how many goals did you score? Like 5? And you're like, nah, just 2. Dang it.
No, I don't know what it is, but it's up in the tens of thousands. So
Nice.
That's pretty sweet.
Good job.
And yeah, I don't know. It's been awesome, but yeah, there's
So
apologize.
you're just stressed the heck out.
kind of I had
And you,
3
well,
meetings
more
this
that
morning.
your just head is like swimming with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, this is the
Understandable,
first
for
time
sure.
since we've been doing the DLOD show. This morning was the first time I had a meeting in the morning, and I had 3 this morning before I came
Oof.
on the show, and they're
Oof.
all with people all over the place. Matt was in on one of them. It was just, and it was like I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking about you guys, and
You know it's way
and-
more rad than having actual meetings? You may notice we did our guest interview before this, full disclosure, And
Full disclosure.
I'm just saying, like, it's just peeking you behind the curtain of the show for a second. So I was signed into like a mobile meeting on my phone, and like during the interview, I can like just barely hear like the guy who's doing the meeting like out of like the earpiece of my phone. And it's just like, it was like a half hour. And I thought we would be done by the time it started, but I wasn't. So, and then as soon as our interview is done with our guest, I take it on, or put it on to speakerphone, and the guy's like, "All right, guys, thanks everybody for listening into the meeting." And
That's
like,
pretty rockstar status,
yeah,
dude.
I mean, I kind of wish I heard it, but I didn't want to sit there. It was about like stuff that I already knew, essentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just
You got it.
one of those things. But it was really funny that I was like in a meeting while we were shooting the show, and then as soon as it was done, it was like, "Thanks everybody for listening and for paying so much attention and for not just having this muted the whole time." Oh, and then you were like unmute it and say thank you. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I unmuted and I was like, thank you. And then I just hung up. It was really funny. So yeah, we're just taking a lot of meetings today, guys.
Yeah, but that's good. You know, it's and by the way, I want to throw this out. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because it might come off that way. But
We'll say it with a happier tone then.
I'm not complaining. I love all this stuff.
Happier tone, not more intense.
Happier. I don't know. Thank you for not complaining. What?
You're just like, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining right now.
No, but everyone who bought the EP so far, seriously, thank you so much.
That's a good tone.
It's pretty awesome.
Good tone, Gabe.
It's pretty cool. So
good tone.
Thank you. I hope you're enjoying it, and hope to see it.
I haven't even listened to it yet.
It's
I've only listened to the new version of I Don't Know How to Dance, which is in the music video.
Cool. Yeah.
So that's the only one I've heard, but I'll check it out.
So yeah. Want to get some comic books?
Yeah, let's talk about comics, dude. Sick. We have a cool guest coming on today, so like,
yeah,
let's do this thing.
Let's do it.
Greetings.
This is Dizzy Doom's comic Boom. Oh, you didn't harmonize with me. Kind of bummed, but that's okay.
Well, I was harmonizing with my. You were doing that 3D
you
hand
make it
thing.
Up for it?
Huh?
One of these.
That solves all the world's problems,
Yep,
especially when
old.
I do the floppy fish version of it. Yeah. You viewers at home, this is the DLOD dance right here.
We need to trademark that because I saw the presidential candidates for next year's election.
Jeb Bush?
Oh, that's
Jeb Bush and Hill Dog did it?
Yeah, they did it. They did it as a sign of peace. They were like this. They were like.
And they did it all like wrong. I bet they were like.
Yeah. They're like, whoa. Donkeys are better than elephants.
Jerks. Seriously, that's all politics is about, guys.
Donkeys.
Livestock.
But anyways, guys, we got some pretty sweet comic books.
Yeah. Dude, like, I'm blown away by this.
Looks like we're doing. I'm doing some Image stuff. You're doing some Vertigo stuff.
Sure am.
Pretty sick. Want me to go first?
Yeah.
Sick.
Kick it
okay. So, I got a gnarly one, and I usually don't do gnarly ones.
You give me the gnarly ones because I'm into gnarly. Yeah.
But this one's pretty gnarly, and it's just a cool story. So I thought I'd share. So I have Starve. So by Brian Wood. It's insane. Dave Stewart. Daniel. How do you Zizel?
Oh, I love this.
Dude,
Gabe
I
can't
can
say
never
things.
pronounce the names right.
Ooh, Zezelj.
Yeah.
Zezelj?
Zezulj?
That would be my first thing, but that's like the white version of whatever his name actually is.
But yeah, so I have Starve, and
first thing I notice of it is like a sepia tone. Like everything's like red or not red. It's like yellowed and like sandy and dusty looking.
Dude, I don't even know where to start with this thing. All right, I'm just gonna explain it to you the best way I can. Way dystopian future, like way in the future.
Love it.
Food is scarce. There's the chef who is the story revolves around. He comes out as gay after getting fired from the company that he's worked for forever. That has nothing to do with him getting fired. He just is like getting older and
that's
stuff.
Like still stigmatized in the future.
No. He comes. I'll explain why.
Okay.
Yeah, he comes out as gay and just starts like living his life, and he's just like, just doing what he does. Smokes a lot of weed, and his wife leaves him because he comes out, and she's like, "You gave me 18 years, like you kind of like wasted 18 years of my life." So she.
I gave you the best years of my life, kind of thing. Yeah.
Kind of has a chip on his shoulder. The company that he left, they track him down, and they want him to start working for them and make this dish again. And with questionable sources of meat.
Mm.
But they want it to be a high-class dish. So they hire him, and he's put in charge of creating these dishes. So he has to make 8 dishes total. The series is actually 8 issues long, so each one is like a different dish. And in this episode, he gets the lovely opportunity to they give him dog meat, and they force him to make a dish with dog meat.
So it's like
the first
Iron
episode.
Chef, and they're like, today's special ingredient is dog.
Yeah. And he's doing it
Damn.
also to impress his daughter. He has a daughter, and she kind of like
She loves dogs.
She kind of despises him, so she wants him to see him succeed and do well. So he's like,
Gotcha.
his inspiration is he wants to please his daughter. So he's like going to take
That sounds
this
awesome.
insane job. It's pretty gnarly, and
That's
in a weird
unique,
way,
too.
there's some humor. There's a little bit.
I
of humor
believe
in
it. I bet it's like dark, kind of like black comedy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm into that.
Yeah.
That's
so,
that's a very unique story.
so check it out. Starve. So yeah,
Chilling.
it's on Image Comics. So thank you, Image.
All right, this one, another one where it's like, where do I even begin? The Wake. It's award-winning. Scott Snyder, Sean Murphy. They've done a ton of awesome stuff, like both famous in their own regard as far as making books. This one, it's like, man, I usually want to pull like 2 other things that it kind of reminds me of. There's elements of Waterworld in that's like the universe that it's kind of set in is a flooded Earth, and hence the name The Wake. But it's also like the wake of the Earth kind of dying, you know?
Oh wow.
So there's a ton of stuff going on in this. The art, of course, I'm always about the art. The art is just stunning. It's just beautiful.
You just choked up.
I know.
Like, I
I
mean,
know. I'm
it's so
holding back
beautiful.
tears right now, dude. It's a really good book, dude.
So
There's awesome villains. The protagonist is really cool. There's like, so basically how it starts is there's like these weird signals coming from the ocean, and nobody really knows what they are. But like the government is like, what the heck's going on here? And then the Earth floods, and there's like these strange creatures that are coming from the depths of the Earth, and it's like one of my favorite. There's space stuff is up here. The next level is like deep sea stuff, like what is actually going on our own planet. Like, let's find out that stuff. I mean, I'd rather put money into NASA than that, but that is still so friggin' cool. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on in our oceans? We don't even know.
we
That's
haven't
like
been down to the bottom of our
exactly
oceans.
like in the gnarliest parts, like the trenches. So this is about like what is actually down there and the creatures that are down there, and it's like it's very sci-fi. It's very actiony. It's really good. There's so
Alien
many.
meets Abyss, kind of.
Yeah, no, there's elements of both
I should
those
just read
things.
it instead
No,
of
there's
just trying
elements
to-
of both of those things in it. If you threw in, I mean, because like Abyss is about that, but Waterworld is the setting of like the whole Earth is covered in water now.
Sick.
Yeah, it's really freaking
Sick,
good.
dude.
And like I only read through like the first quarter of this. This is like the full book, all the chapters and stuff, and I'm like hooked on it, dude. Like I'm ready to plow through this thing, and people are loving it too. It's like much renowned. It's really good.
Sick. Dude.
Anyway, so yeah, these are 2.
Scott Snyder too is just like the man right now.
The gangster.
From Batman.
Yeah.
I can't remember the Enchanted or Defendant, something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
Scott Snyder's killing it right now.
And Sean Murphy's been raging too. Like both of these dudes know what they're
Sean
doing.
Murphy's tight.
And like, so I was reading some of the reviews on the back, and I was reading some online too. And like, the repeated phrase that I saw is like, "This is what comic books should be. Like, this is what comic books need to be. Like, this is like the apex. People want to approach this, and even to
Wow.
have something remotely good.
Cool.
Yeah. So it is awesome. Go check
Cool,
it
man.
out. Yeah.
Awesome. Want to get
Cool.
to our guest?
Yeah.
Commander Echo's guest of honor.
It's Hunter James Bond
Bond.
from Jinx.
If he shows up. What the
I
heck?
know. We definitely didn't already do this segment as we already referenced.
Wink, wink, wink. All right, let's do this.
Okay. Can I keep doing this though?
Our guest has arrived.
Hey, how's it going, guys? What's up, guys?
Don't ever do that.
I'm gonna do it. Just to
I like the enthusiasm. I'm into it.
No, he
I'm
gets
on
mad at
board.
me when I go, "What's up, guys?" Actually, I get mad at myself too. But
you-
that
but
time
you
was
did
Whole
it.
just
explanation.
that
for
time
why.
was just to poke at him.
I see.
But yeah,
I don't know the dynamic yet. I feel like the odd man out.
no, you're not. You're
You'll-
Hunter. Can I
You'll
call you
quickly
Hunter
figure
Bond?
it out.
You don't know my first name?
What? What's
Oh,
your
it's,
first name?
It's James.
Wait, it's not Hunter,
My middle name's Hunter.
but you go by Hunter. Hunter's a good name.
In my defense, it says Hunter Bond on his business card.
It does say Hunter Bond on my business card. It just says James Hunter Bond on my license.
Dang. Okay.
So,
So,
I get James Bond. Yeah.
Right.
and
Your
that's-
parents must have done that on purpose.
Oh yeah, no, like you can't accidentally do that. That would be really
Not
hard
after,
to
like,
do. You'd be like, "Oh
1940.
man, what did we do? How did we? Who could have known?"
They didn't have James Bond in the late 80s. I don't think so.
No, there definitely was
There was a
not any
blackout
Bond.
period for
Yeah.
sure. I knew a girl in high school named Lisa Simpson,
Oh,
but it was like
What?
right on the cusp of the Simpsons. I mean,
ooh. I knew a
just
Charles
born, like-
Brown. Ugh.
yeah.
Can
Charlie
you imagine like all the
Brown
people that
sucks.
like named their kids like Hitler like around before like the internet
Hitler's
and stuff
not
like
a
around
first
that time?
name though.
That's not okay.
No, Hitler's not a first name.
But-
Adolf,
But I know, but like,
and nobody names their kid Adolf anymore.
well,
It's
exactly.
weird how that happened.
But
yeah.
but
Whoopsie,
That'd be
we
funny.
named our kid Adolf.
But yeah, call me Hunter. Let's go with Hunter.
Okay,
I'm glad that we tangented that name. Ugh.
that's gonna happen a lot on this show.
That's-
sorry
I'm on
that we
board.
just compared you to Hitler, dude. That
Did
was
you?
Totally not
Oh,
on
man.
purpose.
No, I think what we did is we compared
I
his
just-
parents to people that name their kids.
Yeah,
Hitler.
that's even worse.
I'm gonna
like-
call
yeah.
my dad.
We were talking about your mother before the show. She sounds like a very sweet lady too.
She
so
is.
my apologies to her as well.
Yeah, it's okay.
Did I miss that discussion?
You did.
Oh yeah.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
But
Fine.
yeah, man, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. You know, it's like the very beginning of con season. So
Yeah.
I
You're a
am
busy guy right
a
now.
little bit insane.
Yeah, that's
In
okay.
a super good way. Like E3 is coming up, so like since we make mostly gaming products, it's like this is E3 I think is like the very beginning of like that up ramp into badness because like while E3 is kind of like a secondary like because we're tertiary to the gaming industry,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like we support it and create products for it and we're like a member of it,
Yeah.
but we don't make games. So like when I go to E3, it's mostly to meet back up with people, say hey, like check out like the new like games coming out and stuff because we always want to see like. We already have really good relationships with most of our partners and stuff. So, like for instance, like with Blizzard, it's pretty. I mean, we're basically. I'm hoping. I have heard nothing official, but like when Overwatch comes out, odds are pretty good that like we're gonna end up making a Paris. You know, we just released our line of stuff for Heroes of the Storm for them.
They look
Very
good.
cool.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot to bring you guys teas. I didn't get your like sizes. That's always the problem.
But
is-
here's what he said, which is awesome. Go ahead and tell me. What's
don't
what's
remember.
easier?
oh, I
Anybody
just
can
ship
go
them
to
you.
Jinx
He's
and
gonna-
get free shirts. Is that what you told
No,
me?
no. Hold on. I like my job. Don't do that.
we can bleep him out.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna send us some stuff.
Yeah,
Good.
definitely.
Yeah.
No, I'll get your emails and we'll send it out. But I also gave you a D20. We had custom D20s made because I got really tired of like giving out pins at cons because
Yeah.
they just live on your lanyard
Where is it?
forever.
Let me see that.
Oh man, they're in my truck. Where's your
Yeah,
D20?
okay.
You're not carrying
Come
I
it.
actually,
on, bro.
I actually gave it to my best friend.
Nice. Okay. Well, I got more. But
You realize I do a podcast which uses a D20 constantly, right?
I mean, I feel like we could hook it up.
You
if you
really
need
have
one.
known him a lot longer than you, right?
That's true.
Just kidding.
That's very true.
But yeah,
I'll get you a D20.
All right, bro.
I feel like with the game store that we're currently in might have some too. I don't know.
That's
Of
where
the
we got
Jinx
the
ones?
one that we have.
No, just in general.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they have a whole R2D2 full of them down there.
That's true.
Do they?
I should.
Yeah.
What I should do is just start
R2D20.
walking over to their random ones and just sprinkling the Jinx D20s in there. and
Yeah.
it's just really hardcore guerrilla marketing. Just like
Dude, I like it.
I don't know if they'd say no
Do we
to
have
that.
to like edit that out?
No.
Okay, sweet. Sounds good.
Shh, as long as they don't know.
Villainous
No.
Slayer doesn't even watch the show because
Okay, perfect.
So.
Good.
Yeah.
They
Sarah,
won't
if
know
you're
that.
watching this,
You're too busy, right?
Too busy.
Stop watching.
You're
Stop
welcome for
watching.
the free dice.
but yeah. So obviously by now you work for Jinx.
yeah, I do.
And if it's not obvious already, shame on you.
Oh, that's a
And,
cool one.
yeah,
And
this
his
is
jacket too.
this is one
Yeah.
of the lines we put out like a little while ago. We're actually working on a new thing. We're trying to actually up the amount of Jinx releases we've had. Like that's one of the big things. Is like a lot of people know us. What's that?
Is that Motorhead or just like Viking stuff?
No, it's just Vikings. Actually,
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. I was
one of
like-
our warehouse guys came up with the initial design, and we keep it posted in the warehouse because it's like a little doodle of like a really derpy skull with like asymmetrical like axes, and then we
Yeah.
just keep it next to a printout of the finalized one. But he's the one who gets credit for the original design
Right on.
because we call him Battle Zach because we have so many Zachs at Jinx that we had to give them
There
all
is a
names.
lot
We-
of Zachs.
yeah,
actually.
we got to the point where we couldn't even use just last names.
Mm.
So now we're down to like he's Battle Zach because he once showed up to work with a chainmail and a battle axe, which is fine. That was totally cool. He checked first. He was like, "Can I wear chainmail and a battle axe?" And
This is
they're
just
like,
a
"Yeah,
normal day.
yeah,
Wait,
just a
hold
normal."
on.
Just like
Is that the same Zach that has a twin?
Yeah.
Because-
That's Battle Zach.
Okay, so Battle Zach, what's up, dude? So I was in here in Villainous Lair,
All right.
and I was going over getting like our independent comics one day,
yeah.
and this guy walks up, and like I walk right up to him. I'm just like, "What's up, bro?" And he just like, hey, and I'm just like, hey,
Did he not?
Zach, what's up, dude? And he's just like, oh, I'm thinking of my brother, and I'm like, get the heck out of here, dude. Like, what's wrong?
No.
I was like, dude, seriously, what's up? Like, I didn't know you came here. And he's like, no, really, I have a twin brother. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you look identical.
He's
That
like, yeah, we're
happens
called
sometimes.
He's a little bit
identical
shorter, though.
twins.
Yeah, they're really close though. Like I met his twin brother when we had our company party last year. Like, or it might have been 2 years ago. Our company party we just moved to the new office in Poway, and so we had this big like ridiculous party where we like hired wandering minstrels and like
Nice.
people to go in like full plate armor and accost the guests for fun and like magicians and stuff.
That's so
and
sick.
him and his brother are like super into going to Ren fairs, and so they showed up in full garb too. And I met his brother, and I was tripping out because I was just like, "How's it ever come up that you have a twin brother?"
Yeah. And it was like, I hadn't seen Zach in like a year, too.
Okay.
So I was like, dude, what are you, like, come on,
Yeah.
man.
But no,
Quit
we're
joshing me, Zach.
we're definitely like we for the last I'd say about like 2 or 3 years we've been doing like so much stuff with all of our partners because a lot of people know us for like our license stuff that we've been doing like for the longest. I think the best known is our Blizzard stuff because we've been working
Yeah.
with them for a really long time on like WoW, and we're going forward. We have our like properties for like we have Hearthstone. We're doing stuff for HOTS. We're doing stuff for StarCraft, and we're all stoked on Heroes, man. A lot of people are playing Heroes pretty hardcore in the office. We have a
I play a
5-man
lot of
team
that
from-
game.
You play some Heroes?
I play a lot of Heroes.
I know a guy with some shirts, so maybe we'll see what happens.
Alright.
Can you carry me to like a slightly higher ranking? Because I've been really busy.
Yeah, dude, I'm down.
Awesome.
Mine's not very high either because I just like stopped playing.
Right.
You guys need to link up on that, like, ASAP.
Yeah.
Man, if only there was like a LinkedIn for gaming internet.
Really?
You should
Yeah,
make
that's
that
a
happen,
great
dude.
idea.
I'm
That's
really
your next
busy. I
venture.
got so much to do, man. I got so many games to play, so many cons to go to, so many podcasts to be on.
Speaking of
That's a
which,
damn fine idea.
we
though,
were talking about Shovel Knight, and
Oh,
we're
man.
going to try to get those guys on the show
Yeah.
Nice.
because
Yeah.
he knows them.
The guys
Nice.
from Yacht Club Games are so nice. We met like 2 or 3 years ago at Minecon.
Yeah.
Because they were it was still in alpha, I think, at Minecon. So they were like debuting it because Notch put this like really small area for some indie games there. Like it was like kind of like a small indie mega booth at a PAX or something. And so they were one of the people debuting their game, and I like instantly fell in love with it because I'm like
It's great.
I'm such an unrepentant retro gamer. Like I
Yeah.
can't even pretend like
I have
don't.
it on pause right now in my backpack, and he has to do some stuff after the interview, and I'm just going to be like chilling
Nice.
here playing
That's
Shovel
gonna
Knight.
distract me from. I have to do like a mobile meeting on my. I can do it on my phone, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I have to do this thing for work, and it's like 30 minutes of learning how to not violate copyright laws when I post stuff in my.
Oh,
in my
those are
workspace,
kind of
but-
That'll be
important.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it would be cool, but yeah, it's just like, come on.
You say you run social for your company?
I mean, that's one of the things I do.
Oh, okay.
I'm a radio DJ, so like while I'm on the radio, they're
Gotcha.
like, you need to be posted on Facebook.
That's pretty
So-
cool. Yeah, that's a large part of my duties at Jinx too, because like
Yeah.
I'm our community manager. Even though my official title is Troll Slayer, it's doing both. You know,
Yeah.
slaying trolls one at a time, keeping
That's
the
sick.
internet
It's a
safe.
different kind of troll.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. So that's like pretty important
Yeah.
to Jinx. And,
yeah. We dude.
Or
like,
just other businesses in general. Because I know some businesses don't care, right? They're just like, let the trolls
Man,
happen. Like,
trolls are like an inevitability of the internet, of course, right?
Yeah.
Like anytime you give someone the ability to like talk to the internet anonymously, you're gonna have some
Oh, yeah.
people who choose to use that to not be cool.
yeah.
And that happens, but you know what? I have a lot of friends who work in community management in the gaming industry, and I got to say that, like, by and large, our fans, our fan base, and the people who follow us on social media are really cool. Like, we do not actually, it's kind of the exception when someone goes
Yeah.
full out troll. So, like, I mean, I like to think it's because we cultivated a cool community, or
And have a cool product. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
what kind of crap could you guys get? It's
I mean,
like
oh, you know what the
You
funniest
guys
thing?
ran out of my size.
you guys are like in the
F,
safe
man.
zone.
There, sort
I would
of.
feel
There's some
like.
of that. You know what's funny is when because of course we like promote our clothes when new games come out.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, sometimes when a new game comes out, like, they're working on server stability and they're patching, and, like, that's an inevitability of playing any game.
Yeah.
But it'll be funny to see when people post. I got a tweet at us a couple days ago, and someone's like, "Oh, when we released the hero stuff, they were like, this is what you guys do instead of making, what was it, Warcraft 4?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, we make shirts, so yeah." we're working on that.
What the hell, dude?
That's lame,
You
dude.
shouldn't be playing video games. You need to like do some research.
You're
before
also
you
bad
post
at
on it.
trolling.
Yeah, it was, but what's
You
cool is
obviously don't
like
understand the concept.
Maybe he's an ultimate troll, and he knows you guys make
he's like
shirts.
meta trolling.
Meta trolling
Oh,
hard.
meta
yeah.
trolls. I haven't even thought about meta trolls yet.
Next level trolls.
But
Yeah.
no, like it's cool. We generally we don't get a lot of that, which is cool. But it does still bum me out, and I know it bums a lot of us out at the company. That like the the gaming industry as a whole does have to deal with that stuff,
Yeah.
and so we try really hard in everything that we do to promote like a less toxic and more friendly and inclusive gaming community.
That's kind of what I do for this guy.
Yeah.
I just
I'm
tell
just
him like every time we
toxic
have an
and-
episode go up, I'm like, no. Every time we have an episode go up, I'm like, dude, don't look at comments, don't look at our views. Don't
It's
look at our
hard,
plays.
yeah.
And
I
he's
can't
just
help
like,
it.
he'll be up. He'll call me at like 3 a.m. Like, dude, this guy commented on our video and says like, or put a thumbs down, and I'm like, who
The thumbs
cares?
down.
There's a really solid Twitter.
Thumbs downs get me, man. Like,
Do they?
Why are you gonna go out of your way to click a thumbs down just to make the creator of this video feel bad, dude?
There's
What's
a
the point of that?
dude. There's a really good Twitter you should follow. I think it's @don'treadcomments. And all it does is tweet out daily reminders of why you should never read the
Yeah.
comments if you're creating stuff on the internet.
I'll check that out.
Yeah.
It harsh browns, dude. It harsh browns your creativity. You gotta just like, you gotta
So
keep
nice.
Yeah.
gotta keep going,
That's
dude.
one of my favorite Gabeisms.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like one of the things we're trying to do is we'd like to, like we end up, we kind of like overlap with the esports community, but like esports is so huge and like that's such a big portion and a passionate portion of the gaming community that like we kind of want to do more to get involved in stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the big things for us about that though is that like, by and large, the esports community is rad, but like sometimes there's toxicness, and we don't want to do that. So if we're gonna like work with teams and sponsor teams, like one of the big things for us is that like people be nice to their fans, that they be like good sportsmanship and things like that. Like
Just like athletes, I imagine.
I mean, exactly. That's the
Yeah.
thing is like when you have esports now, it's interesting to see that the gaming community is starting to have to somewhat deal with the problems that like professional sports had to,
Yeah.
and they're gonna have the same growing pains. And like I have faith in our community that like they're gonna overcome that stuff. But like in the
And there's
middle
always
of
going
it,
to be problems with it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
never going to be perfect, yeah.
no. But like
People like to hate, man.
and
the
that's
way
the
it
thing
is.
is like we're trying to be a part of not that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like people are gonna do it, but we don't have to support it. And hopefully by putting our weight, and like I know a lot of people that we work with are the same way, where it's more important to us that the community as a whole is an inclusive, like a fun environment, because it's supposed to
Yeah.
be games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not
Fun.
right. Right. Oh yeah.
Key
No. Have you
word.
heard? Games are supposed to be fun, or so I've heard.
Weird.
No, that's a big thing, man. But Jinx is a really cool company. Like I've been there almost 4 years now, I think, in October. And for a community manager, that's a pretty long stint in the gaming industry. Most of them move
Yeah.
around really quick.
They must
and-
like you.
Well, a lot of people move around to try and like ladder jump or whatever, or like the gaming
Yeah.
industry can be volatile. But I would stay indefinitely. Like I have my future plans are Jinx forever and ever and ever,
That's so
because
cool.
like I love my coworkers. Like we're still owned by the same guys who founded us, and like they're really still involved day to day.
How old is the company?
15 years old.
Oh, dang.
Well, we're getting closer to 16, but we were founded in
Dang.
'99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely the 2000s.
Right.
Did they create
Yeah.
the company knowing it was going to be like a gaming merchandise company?
It actually like it kind of progressed. Like it's always been geek culture,
Yeah.
but like in the really early days back in '99, like the first shirt that we ever put out just said like hacker period, because
I think I saw. I think I've seen that shirt like around.
totally, yeah.
Like a lot.
It's probably a lot of them are probably real old. We still sell, I think, that one on the site
Yeah.
possibly, but we also have like the gamer and stuff. But that's the really like proto Jinx stuff.
Yeah.
But it kind of progressed. What happened was like the company has always been a summation of like the things that make up the staff's interests. And so like as time evolved, like hacking kind of gave way more to gaming.
Yeah.
So we kind of transitioned like a huge jump. It always had some gaming and stuff. Like it was always like noobs and pwning people and stuff. But when we started
Naturally.
working with Blizzard and stuff, that's when like it really kind of hit that critical mass, and we started
What
branching
year
out.
did you start working with Blizzard?
We started, so the first shirts that we made were like independent shirts that were kind of referential, but Man, I can't nail down the date, but I do remember that like everyone was really stoked for that partnership because it was way before my time that they started working with Blizzard.
Like
but
this is like early 2000s, mid 2000s.
it was around WoW. I mean, like I think
Okay.
a lot of people, their first experience with us, if they didn't know who we were back in the day, was seeing us on the WoW launcher for the first time. It's
very
like,
cool.
I've been,
yeah, definitely.
So Blizzard
Definitely.
saw it as like an opportunity for sure. They were just like, oh dang, like these guys are probably gonna be doing something.
right. They
sweet,
saw the
so-
potential, like, because we were making some shirts that were like referential, but weren't like licensed by Blizzard.
Yeah.
And Blizzard was super cool and basically was like, we like what you're doing. We think it's super on point for our game and our community will love it. So like, let's make this a real thing. And
Yeah.
so then we started making the official merchandise for WoW. And then obviously
That's
that
awesome.
extended into like StarCraft 2 and all that. Yeah, no, Blizzard's awesome. I love Blizzard fans too. BlizzCon is like definitely one of my favorite cons because since we've been working with them so long, like the fans love like us, like sometimes it's hard when we pick up new companies we're working with because their game is super rad and their community is super rad, but like it's a new partnership and so people don't
Yeah.
immediately know that like we're the official store for Halo. We do the Halo Waypoint store, like the main store for Halo comes to our site, but like Halo, we haven't been doing Halo forever and ever, so like the Halo fans are still learning that like, yeah, we're the ones doing a lot of this stuff now.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, I mean, personally, too, I'm a huge Blizzard fanboy. So, I mean, I've been playing their games forever and ever.
There's very few reasons not to be a Blizzard fanboy.
I mean, they take their time, right?
Yeah.
Soon.
They do it right. Yeah.
When is it coming out? Soon, TM.
Yep.
Warcraft 2, man. I
Oh,
think one
yeah?
of my favorite.
Absolutely, dude.
Actually, I don't know. I think we could probably all say this. I've had so many favorite video game moments. I mean, it's endless. That's why I love them so much. But Warcraft 2 is definitely just one of those that just sticks out. Like in the younger.
I'm really bad at RTS games. So, like, I love Warcraft 2, but I do not love not being good at Warcraft 2. And the same thing
feel
for,
ya.
like, Warcraft 3, where it's like, man, I really like I play through, like, all of the campaigns in all of their games, and then I try and play online, and then I'm
I
like,
never played online.
Oh, man.
I hated playing online.
when StarCraft 2 came out, I was like, oh, I've never felt more bad at a thing. Because I'm like,
Yep.
okay, cool. I've got these like 7 Zerglings, and then out of nowhere, like just an entire like fleet of dudes comes in. And I was like, what was I doing wrong? How could I have been faster? I feel like I was reaching the like human limit of how well you can play this game. And then you watch, like a Barcraft event, and you're just like, what is that dude doing? Just my actions per
Hotkeys,
minute
man.
can be counted in like the tens, I guess. Probably not in the hundreds. So
Dang, dude.
yeah, my metagame is not strong. But no,
Oh, well.
dude, I would
I
say
couldn't last online to save my life, dude.
I
during
think
the trip.
the Blizzard game that like got me hooked, man, was WoW. I mean, like a lot of people, I was actually, my friends all played beta, and then
Yeah.
I played launch day. So like we rolled, we all rolled characters, and our first characters were Alliance. We didn't know any better. And
It happens, people.
I ended up being the last one. Everyone else had like pre-ordered it or somehow, and so that day they were already all installing, and I didn't have my copy yet, and so I had to drive all the way to Fry's and like wait in line and grab it. So by the time I got home, they'd already all rolled, and we were trying to like have like a party that was
Yeah.
balanced. And little did I know that being like a night elf druid on launch was going to be real rough because you like start on an entirely different continent by yourself.
yeah.
Oh,
And like
dude.
pre-patch, you're like, cool, I can do like a little bit of all the classes, but not really great.
That's
so
brutal. Yeah.
nobody wants to take me on anything because it's like,
The
can you
heals were
tank?
still okay early.
Yeah, the heals were
About
fine.
the only thing they had strong.
You know what was real rough was that you got your like travel form after the paladin got their mount, and you're like, why
Yeah.
do I get everything later? No.
Yep. But then you get bird form later, flight form.
That's true.
Dude,
Awesome.
I can think of 50 people right now that are gonna love this episode already. No, because
Dude, I
like
can talk WoW for like days and
Right.
days on.
I didn't
end.
know you're so into WoW. I mean, it makes
I
sense.
played it for like
He-
10
he's
years
always showing
on
me
and
these
off.
really cool,
dude.
like
This has
obscure
now
PC
become the WoW
games.
podcast.
Yeah. I played
No.
it for so long on and off. I've played since vanilla, like a month after launch.
Yeah.
Is when I got
Wow.
it. Yeah, dude.
I'm into like in and out player because like what would happen is I've worked full time for a really long time. I was like a
Yeah.
freelance photographer and stuff, and so when all my friends were still in college and I was working full time, we'd always do this cycle where it'd be like a new expansion would like I'd kind of fade out, and the new expansion would come in, I'd buy it, jump on, and we'd all promise to reroll new characters and level together, and then we'd all level together like 1 or 2 nights. And then I'd have to work a bunch, and then I'd come back, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we max capped." And I was like, "Dude, it's been a week. What do you do with your
Yeah.
time? How did you?" "Oh man," and I'd just be playing by myself. Eventually, I just started rolling hunters because I was like, "At least I have
You can
one
solo.
digital friend."
yeah.
Good times.
It's a
man.
bore, but still.
This is why I stayed away from WoW.
Yeah.
This is exactly why I stayed away from. Like,
No, it's a super
I'm
fun
a Final
game.
Fantasy,
It's an amazing game.
Final Fantasy, like, I love open world, but it has to have a storyline. It has to have.
Gotcha.
It has to have
Yeah,
end.
but Final
WoW's got
Fantasy-
deep lore though. I mean, WoW's got really deep lore if you get into it.
Yeah, you have to get into
But-
it though. You kind of have to go out of your way to do it.
But I can't.
Which is
I'll never
nice.
be able to get to the next thing. That's what. But a lot of people like that.
Right.
Though.
What do
See,
you
I'm
mean
the
you'll never
opposite.
be able to get to the next thing?
I'll never be able to like reading. Like I want it to resolve
Oh.
itself. You know what I mean? Like I like having an
does.
end.
Yeah, I mean it does. That's one
I've
of
heard
the
that complaint from a lot of people, and it's like it does, but like incrementally. You
right.
know?
And
I
with each
can't- I don't like that.
expansion,
To me, that's not an end. Like Final
I mean, does
Fantasy
the Final
10
Fantasy world actually, the story actually end when you beat the game?
Yeah.
No,
every
there's
time.
still stuff going on.
No. It ends.
There's an argument to be made that there is still stuff. I mean, why would there be a sequel for any Final Fantasy game?
They're not really sequels though.
ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
no,
I don't want
like,
to get into this argument.
I have a friend, man,
So
one of my
kill
best
you.
friends I've known forever and ever. We like play D&D together. I've been playing D&D with Adam for like 22 years or something
Dang.
insane. But he is like the biggest WoW lore nerd I've ever known. And
Yeah.
actually, when one of the expansions came out, a bunch of people at the company were like, "Hey, a lot of us like haven't played in a little while, or like have played but haven't caught up on the lore.
Mhm.
Like, would you do like?" So he put together like a 2-hour PowerPoint presentation
awesome.
on WoW
is
lore.
so badass.
And
dude.
so, like, a bunch of people were sitting in the conference room, and Adam was, like, going through slides, and he's like, all right, so this is Sylvanas. And then it just, like, follow for, like, 30 minutes of Sylvanas lore. I was so proud of him.
That's so
It was-
awesome, dude.
It was so
Epic, man.
good. Yeah. But, like, I know. It's one of the nerdiest things, but that's why I love it, is because,
Well-
like, super esoteric knowledge is the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's awesome. I could talk about. Oh man, I mean, this guy, if he brings up like Superman or like stuff like that,
Oh, yeah.
I will like.
Superman, Batman.
My
Gabe
favorite.
goes gnar.
Like my favorite thing is when people, and I will not mention names. But when people want to go into like Superman's lame, I'll be like, let's go have some coffee.
Let's go have a
Pop
chat.
a squat on my knee here, kiddo. Let's talk about this.
You don't just, like, look in the eyes and be like, how about you and me go outside? We're going to have a chat real quick.
It's,
Come
very,
on, no,
it's
no,
a very
let's-
peaceful, like no hostility conversation.
Of course.
Just laying some facts out. But
so that they can understand how wrong they are.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, I get it. No, it's just the right response to that is, look, man, I appreciate what you're saying, and everyone is entitled to their own wrong opinion.
Let's handle this very diplomatically. But
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah.
That, like I love comics, but like my background in comics is I go to a lot of zine fests and stuff, so I read a lot of like super
The
like,
independent,
indie
very cool.
comics. Like I don't know, do you know Douglas Paskowitz? He does Arsenic Lullabies.
I know Arsenic Lullabies. I don't know Douglas.
Yeah,
though.
he's the author, and his
That's
name
really
is
cool.
super hard to spell. But he's at Comic-Con like pretty often, like in the small press area, usually like near like slave labor graphics or something.
That's really
But
cool.
that book's been going on forever. I bought the omnibus last year, but like that's a good example. I'm a big fan of like the black and white stuff. But one of my coworkers, Brian, who's actually like the first employee who ever worked at Jinx, I think he just celebrated his I want to say 11th or I think it was 11th anniversary this
Dang.
year. He is a huge comic nerd. His pull list is everything. It's just everything. Like he brings back a stack of like 50 comics a week.
See, I envy guys like that because I can't do that.
Right.
I have my areas where I feel like I know a lot about them.
Sure.
Because I've studied so much about them, and I have like books upon books upon books about them.
Right.
But I couldn't tell you like if you just started naming random characters, I mean,
Yeah.
I could probably know their backstory and get pretty close to what like their lineage. is,
Brian's
but I
been
couldn't, like-
crazy into comics for a really long time. I think I'm trying to remember what his official position was back there, but for a time he actually worked at IDW
Wow.
before working at Jinx. So
Remind me, I have two before I forget. I have two comics for you. If you're into that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
I have
no,
them
I'm
in,
all
I have
about
one in
it.
a box here. I'll give it to you.
but yeah, no, Brian, I think it's funny too. So part of his employment agreement is that he's allowed to store his comic collection in our warehouse because he has, I think it's like 2 full pallets of long boxes now that are like just his like deep storage. It's awesome.
Dang.
But it's rad because he loans all his like when he's done reading them and stuff. He's not collecting the weeklies basically, and so like people around the office like snag them from all the time. So everyone's desk has like everyone's following one of the comics he buys all the comics for. So like there's just the comics laying around our office all over the place. It's
That's
pretty
awesome.
ridiculous.
Sick, man.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
You want to get into these Twitter questions?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I'm afraid.
We could. Yeah.
I'm so afraid. I work on Twitter, man.
Yeah.
I know what's
It's
I
a
know what's
cruel
out
world. All right, first one is from @Freddy_Duder99.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good one. What kind of nerd culture does Jinx usually look for when making a shirt? Is it your own interest, or is it more what is in the mainstream or making money?
Sounds pretty close to a trolling question, dude. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, that one's a pretty solid question. A lot of, you know what, that one gets asked a lot too, which is like, how do you guys come up with your ideas? That's always a question.
Yeah.
And the answer is we try and do like a hybrid of stuff because we always want to wear our own shirts. That's really important. And we have
That's the way it should be in almost every art form. You should never do something
right.
because
You put
I
a shirt
feel
out
like
you
there's a
hate because
market
it's
for this.
popular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
We always like internally try to like we play the games we make shirts for. Like it's really important for us to like understand like what makes this game cool. Like so our art team and like members of people who come up with ideas and stuff, like anyone at the company is welcome to submit an idea. Like Zach came up with this one from the warehouse, right? But it all comes down to like who's been playing the game a lot, who's super passionate about it, because we have like brainstorm meetings where everyone comes together and like submits all their ideas and stuff, and it's usually just like an amalgamation of like what's pop culture-y about a game or a geek idea, and then like what we're interested in, because it's usually like we're like a lot of us are Redditors, you know what I mean? A lot of us are on the same things that all
You
of
got
our
your finger
fans
on
are.
the pulse, yeah.
And so like that filtered through our own interests ends up being like what we make, because like you can't read minds, you know. We have no like, we're not going to be like, all right, so the market study says that people really like it's that's not like the path to true victory, right? We've always been like a company, like I said, our founders are still our owners. They're in the office every day. I play D&D with them and stuff. Like they care a lot about it. Like they haven't like stepped back from the company at all. Like our brainstorm meetings still involve those guys because Sean is like extremely passionate about the company. Like it's his baby, and Tim is too. Like both of those guys are like super hands-on, you know what I mean? And so you have like a company full of people who are all super passionate about not doing a bad job. Like none of us want to put out shirts that we wouldn't want to wear, or at least like, you know, a group of people. Like if I don't play a game a lot, and like sometimes we come up with ideas that are like super core ideas where if you don't play the game, it's not funny to you. But if it resonates with like core fans, then that's what we're going to go for. It's not about
and that's what a core fan wants, is something that's like inside.
And that's me, man. I'm a super like, I want a shirt that like only the people who get exactly what I like. I love those shirts. That's my favorite. Like our last round of Jinx shirts we put out, I designed one that was a dungeon master behind a DM screen, and it says they can't see me rolling.
That's so sick.
Because I'm like one of our big resident D&D nerds, and like you can tell which shirts everybody loves, because like we all wear our own shirts around the office. It's like that's our standard attire. But yeah, like we definitely don't just like sit around and think like, what do we think is gonna make the most money? Not at all. Like
the best part of that whole situation too is I love when, I can't remember the last time I've had a shirt like this, but I will soon probably if we get some Jinx stuff. But like conversation starters with people that have a shared interest is so awesome. Like if I was wearing a HOTS shirt, somebody'd be like, "Oh, dude, you play HOTS? I
Especially
love that game.
like
Who do you roll, dude?"
some of our stuff is like stuff's like more blatant. You know what I mean? Like because there are people who want that, like in our office and out there. Like some people want like
just
a HOTS logo shirt.
Heroes of the Storm.
But then some people want like just the Nexus logo, so that if you don't play Heroes of the Storm, it's just a cool design. Like, and we try and cater to. That's real hard, is to cater to like the people who really want to have like kind of more out there. Like, hey, I love this game, and then people
I like
who
abstract designs, however.
Right. People who want to wear like a more like wearable everyday shirt that you can just go to like a bar show, you know, go see a band, and it doesn't necessarily scream like, "I game so hard."
Yeah.
And then you got like the purists, like who just want to get the shirts that are hints at things inside the game. So it's like in a joke, in a joke, in a joke.
Right.
You got to be on the in, on the in.
Those are so hard to
wear
nail,
shirts
but
like
when you
that.
nail them, man, oh, it feels so good when you make a shirt that the community loves. It's so good. That's
I
like
love Portal ones. Like Portal ones are they have a lot of really cool Portal ones that are like if
a lot of what's
you
cool.
will not have any idea unless you've played like the Portal games, like what that shirt is.
What's neat is like depending on like the the culture of each company we work with too. Since we do license stuff, everything goes through approvals and stuff like that. And so like all of our partners are honestly pretty cool, but like some of them have to be like more careful with like the jokes they make and stuff. And like Valve, obviously, because that's their own marketing, is always like super irreverent and hilarious. We get to make like some really cool shirts for Valve. Like whenever we work with them, I'm always really pumped. And same thing goes for WoW. I mean, like they've made us like WoW and like all the Blizzard stuff. We've gotten to make some pretty good joke shirts for that. They know not to like come to me for serious designs. I'm like I can't contribute anything.
I saw like a Diablo Sriracha one that was rad.
For heroes. Yeah. That was it was cool how that one came about actually. So like our art team made some designs and stuff too, but then all the people at our company who'd been playing a ton of Heroes came together and formed like a rogue meeting, and then they came up with a bunch of designs for it. And so like all the designs that they ended up producing, a lot of them came from that second meeting. Like a few from the art team's original concepts, and then a few from the guys who had the meeting, and that was composed of like someone from like my coworker who does like marketing for us, a bunch of the guys from sales. Like it was just a group of people who were like super passionate about it and wanted to make sure that we put out a bunch of like cool designs that people who play Heroes would love.
I'm totally playing through the storyline in my head where somebody's like, man, I don't know what to do for this t-shirt. And then he sits back and there's like a sriracha bottle on the desk.
Well, I mean, we
and
have
he's
those
like,
around.
"Whoa."
There's a
Yeah.
lot of sriracha at the office.
That's
Subsidized.
awesome.
We subsidize our sriracha habit. There's like at least one on every like 3 or 4 like desks. It's around.
Nice.
It can be had. It's thick on the ground.
Yeah,
Nice.
I saw a I think one of the best like in t-shirts I saw was like this girl and she's riding in like this convertible and it just says like friendship. And like at first, it's just a girl riding in a convertible. But if you look, and it looks like she's driving by herself. But if you look at like her mirror, like her side view mirror,
Yeah.
there's a reflection of a companion cube in the seat. I'm just like, dude, that is awesome.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's
like
deep.
in within in.
That's good.
It's like already an in concept,
It
and
just
then you have
says-
to
it
like
says
study the
friendship.
shirt.
It's
Like,
funny because,
dude.
you know, like there are so many other companies too now, like, you know, varied size and varied ways of going about making shirts for the gaming community.
Yeah.
Like everyone was always like, oh, are you guys like, you know, is there animosity? And it's like, no, man, like everyone who's making stuff for our community helps grow our community. Why would we not be
Yeah.
stoked on their success too? Like, it's awesome. You know, you run into dudes from all those companies and I mean, we all game a lot too. So it's not like we
Yeah.
don't have tons in common when we run into each other at cons and stuff.
Yeah.
Although I think most people that we like in any way, shape, or form ever talked to, I have definitely threatened a Nerf war with them. I can never follow through though, man. I tried to sneak Nerf guns into E3 to take to the wargaming booth last year, and they almost didn't let
busted?
me in the door. Yeah, they made me throw my Nerf guns away.
That's
Sucks.
I was trying to come up with the unified theory of spoilers, which is
Like
it's
the timeline.
yeah, and I think that it needs to be social media network specific. So like you get like what was it? It was like it's like 6 hours for Twitter, like just 6 hours, and you start tweeting it because then like people on the West Coast have had time to watch it too, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're gonna post stuff on, that probably go, and then like it's like what, maybe like 6 days for like Facebook. You know, like you get about 6 days before you can post like something. Maybe but
Yeah.
it depends on how spoilery it is, right? But after 6 months, if you haven't watched something, it's just entirely too late for you to be upset at all. Like that's the new rule. Is
Game
and,
of Thrones and what's another big one that like it's the first one that comes to mind that gets
like Breaking
spoiled.
Bad was a big one, right? Like
Yeah.
Breaking Bad was
That's
still
true.
running.
Dude,
Everyone
that's
was,
the one that got spoiled for me worse
no,
than anything.
I have
gonna say it now because it's been so long.
I
right?
mean, well, so is it past 6 months?
yeah.
All right, you're good.
Yeah,
That's
easily.
that's the rule. You're fine.
That's like the maximum. So my roommates were all super into it, and I was waiting for it to all finish so I could just like binge it all at once.
Yeah.
And I didn't know they were watching it, and I
Oh,
walked
no.
by, and his son is like, "You killed Uncle Hank, Dad.
Oh.
How could you do that?" And I was like, "What the hell, dude? That's the worst spoiler ever."
Yeah, that basically
Wait,
ruined.
Uncle Hank dies?
Yeah, dude. It's been
Oh,
6 months.
spoilers. Yeah,
If you haven't watched it yet, then like,
I made this
Shame on you.
really, really bad mistake. So when I started working at Jinx, it was right before the TV show for Game of Thrones started, right? And everyone was talking about it, and they were talking about the books, though, because a lot of people had read them. But I made a mistake. I thought everyone had read all of them. And most of them had read like 1 or 2 or were working their way through the series. And I'm a pretty voracious reader. So in a month, I read all 5 books that were out. And then I realized no one else had read. Like there was like 5 of us who'd like totally finished them all. And because back then too, we had like way less people. And I couldn't talk to anybody about Game of Thrones because you can't.
that hurts.
Well, there's like a reverse spoiler too, if you think about it, which is you can't talk about characters who are still alive later too, because then that takes away any suspense that they're gonna die.
Yeah.
So you can't be like,
Yeah.
oh man, yeah, in like book 5, I love when that guy does that thing, and they're like, oh cool, I'm only on book 2, so he just doesn't die for 3 more books.
Man, I think everything can be a spoiler, and I think Jesse's on board with that. I don't know if Gabe's on board with that.
All right.
I imagine you are too.
All right, let's hear it.
The name of an episode is a spoiler.
Sure.
Yeah.
The previously on is a spoiler.
Sure.
I don't want any of that stuff.
No.
Like, there's very few times when I'm okay with watching even a trailer for a movie. Mad Max is the first trailer in a long time that did not spoil anything in the movie for me.
Although, oh wait, yeah, it's not okay. It hasn't been 6 months. I was gonna talk about some Mad Max stuff. But
Oh
it's
yeah,
not.
no, we can't do that.
You know what we can say is so much stuff blows up. Spoiler.
Yeah.
There's so many explosions. I've seen it 4 times.
I need to see. I've only seen it once.
I've seen it.
Is it worth seeing it in 3D? I did not see it in 3D.
I can't. I don't watch movies in 3D.
I typically don't either.
I only saw one movie that was worth seeing in 3D. That was Tron Legacy. That was
Yeah.
totally,
Was that pretty
that was
bad?
totally worth
Yeah.
seeing it in 3D.
I saw that in 3D.
I've I had this problem. So I used to go 3D movies and get headaches, and I couldn't figure out why. And I went and got my eyes checked, and it turned out that apparently my eyes are 1 degree off, which is not enough that you're technically cross-eyed, but makes binoculars really suck and makes 3D movies give you headaches. So I just don't.
Dang.
Crappy.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this, and you don't have to answer this at all. This is
right.
not a Twitter question.
Okay.
Has Jinx ever worked on a game, and you do not have to say any names, that nobody was that stoked to work on? Just people are like, no, this isn't even that good of a game. I don't want to make shirts for this.
No, because generally we try not to sign contracts with stuff that no
you're not
one
into.
likes.
Well, it could have been something like a lot of hype, and it looks like it's going to be really good, and then you guys sign on, and
I
then
have
the game
something
comes
in
out,
mind,
and you're
but
just
I'm
like,
not gonna say it.
I mean, it's always hard, right? Because we always get hyped before working with stuff.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the community response to a game isn't what the creators I would imagine hoped.
Yeah.
But we still put our all into all the projects because we wouldn't have
course,
gotten
yeah.
on board in the first place if we didn't think it was going to be cool.
Yeah.
We don't want to make shirts for stuff we don't want to wear shirts for. So usually it's since it's impossible to figure out what's going to hit and what's not, it doesn't necessarily
most
matter
part,
if every single game is a crazy slam dunk, right? Because some games that have really small, passionate communities are also awesome to support. I'm trying to think of games a lot of our games are pretty big now and stuff, but I personally love a lot of games. I played RuneScape when RuneScape was launched.
I played a little bit of RuneScape.
Right. I still will.
Just because I wasn't playing EQ or WoW at the time. I
Right.
was like, I want something MMO.
Have you guys played Dungeon Siege?
Of course.
Oh yeah.
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 How about Dungeon Keeper, bro?
Oh, Dungeon Keeper's so
What-
good.
Never played Dungeon Keeper.
Oh, it's so good.
I like
Those are
Dungeon
both great
Siege, though.
games, yeah.
It's Dungeon Keeper is kind of man, it's is it Prison Architect or something meets
Yeah.
adventuring where
Whoa,
you
that's
build a
kinda cool.
the goal of the game is to build a dungeon to take out. Actually, have you ever played Boss Monster, the card
Oh,
game
yeah,
Boss
oh, yeah.
Monster?
Mhm.
It's kind of like Boss Monster, the computer game, where you
Yeah.
build a dungeon in an attempt to make it so the
And it's
adventurers can't get.
quirky and weird. And
Oh, the
stuff.
humor is
Yeah.
super good too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out. Dungeon
it's
Keeper.
it's
When did
an
it come
old
out?
one. A while ago.
Long time. This
Yeah.
is 90s.
Yeah.
The first one is probably 97 or something. Maybe even earlier than that.
Yeah, it was
check it
definitely
out.
mid late 90s.
It was
I
a
wanna say.
PC launch title, too.
PC launch title.
Oh, PC.
That's a
man.
good one, Dan.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
but generally,
I bet that joke's been made a million times already, though.
in general, no. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to see every game that we make stuff for get tons of expansions and tons of community support, but
Yeah.
that's just out of our hands, and so we
Yeah.
do as much of a good job as we can to design shirts that we hope the fans really like and stuff. And if the game just doesn't have the following that keeps going and going forever, we do what we can to support it. But no, that would be the
Yeah.
answer. Because we wouldn't
Dig it.
want to bring that
He's
on
always
board.
trying
And
to
that's-
start beef. So.
It's not even that. I'm curious. From the inside, those things that I feel like most people wouldn't think about.
Oh, yeah,
oh,
no,
you work at a
for sure.
video game clothing company? That's awesome. You must love every moment of your job. But there's got to be some moments that are just like any workplace that.
I mean,
You
a job is a job, but you know what I gotta say is that you can find a lot of jobs that are probably pretty cool. But I knew I was home when I started making the kind of jokes where you'd make them in normal, just everyday company,
Yeah.
and just silence. Where someone at Jinx will
Or
get
the
it.
HR person, you're gonna have to come into my office.
Oh
now,
no, dude, our HR guy is so rad. I love Tony. Tony, okay, let me tell. Hold on.
Sidebar on Tony, real quick.
Let me
Talk about
tell you
Tony.
about Tony.
Shout out
Please.
Tony.
So, one, he's almost never wearing not a metal band T-shirt.
Oh,
just
nice.
at all times.
Party.
My kind
But
of guy.
he is so good at a lot of games. So we had a was it WCW versus NWO Raw for N64. Was it that or was it WWF Raw? I think it was WWF Raw, right?
Yeah, that
Okay,
was-
yeah. That's his
yeah.
jam, right? And so we have in-company game tournaments almost every month, and that was the first one. And so Tony excused himself from it. He's like, yeah, I can't play in it. He's like, I'm gonna be the end boss. So basically, we all played, and the person who won
That's so sick.
had to fight Tony. And so there was like a
He
prize.
just knew.
And then he was super right, because the guy who won, Larry's a super awesome gamer. He's the one who took me out of the tournament.
Yeah.
But Tony is like on this next level where he finished the pin with one hand, and he just like held the controller and then just counted off with his other hand and won it. It was amazing. It was so crazy. And then we just finished our NBA Jam tournament, which lasted for like 2 months. It was super hotly contested, and Tony's team ended up
March Madness,
in the
bro.
finals. Yeah, we had like it was long. It was a long tournament.
That's
and
awesome.
Our head programmer, Brolo and Tony, their team, the Brony Express, Brolo and Tony.
Hell yeah.
They ended up winning it, but it was, dude, it got real crazy towards the end there. Like past the semifinals, people were like taking breaks to go practice and stuff. So people would be in the game room playing Jam, and they're like, you could hear them whispering strategies to each other. It got really serious.
That's
Dude.
awesome,
Yeah.
dude.
That's legit, dude.
But-
Tony. I want to
No,
meet Tony.
So our HR guy's rad. That's why all the way, dude. All my
That's
coworkers
dope,
are super
dude.
cool.
All right, next one is from @LazyBurglar Productions. How aware is Jinx of the modern fashion industry, and does that come into play at all when designing a shirt?
I mean, yes and no, I guess, right? But like trends come and go super fast.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, the Aztec pattern's really in right now. That doesn't really apply to like a lot of like I game pretty hard, and my wardrobe is a lot of black T-shirts, as I imagine like a lot of gamers. So like black is unsurprisingly like the best-selling color.
Black is the new
T-shirt.
black, yeah.
Right. But no, like what we do try and do, what can be kind of hard, is to try and like make enough variety of like color and design type and stuff. Like we like to keep it fresh, but at the same time, like really ultimately the master you're trying to serve is like the community in the game, right? So you got to do what's right for the game, and you got to do what's right for the community. So like a lot of that style is dictated by that. Like what's the tone of this game? Like, what is the like in joke and in reference and style that's going to work. Like we have a bunch of in-house artists, and then like sometimes we do have freelance artists, because we'll be like, we want to do a design that is so specific. Like we want this to look exactly pitch perfect for like 1970s Dungeons and Dragons art, that we have, a guy that we're like, oh cool, let's call him, because that's all he does. That's just his thing.
Yeah.
So like it's really more important to see that the design serves like the joke or the tea or the game or something. So like fashion trends come and go, but we try and like make shirts that are just referential to the stuff that people are going to care about.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, next one is from @dusty.eugene94. Hi, Hunter. I don't know much about cosplay, but I'm curious. Why do you think nerd clothing is blowing up as fast as it is? Well, first off, cosplay and nerd clothing are like two totally different things.
But maybe they don't.
They like
I noticed that too.
they Venn diagram to some extent, because like cosplayers are, like obviously a lot of them, like casual cosplay is a huge thing, right? Like there are a lot of companies who do just that kind of stuff nowadays, where it's like we have some things that are like that, but by and large,
like there's like
we're,
the Demon Hunter
wearables.
jacket that's like
Right.
pretty cosplay
For sure.
Yeah.
I added that question because Dusty Eugene 94 sounds super sweet. He
Yep.
just sounds like a really sweet homie.
Yeah.
Like, hi Hunter. I just like love that
Right.
like, he's just talking directly to
Just
you.
like interested and inquisitive
and he he even
I'm
says
into it.
I don't know much about cosplay, but
humble.
humble, yeah.
Man,
So,
we like
Politeness
you,
on the
Dusty.
internet, man. It's
Yeah.
rare. It's like unicorns.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, hey.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I think that the real question he's really asking is like, why is nerd and geek clothing blowing up right now? And I think that the real answer is because nerd and geek culture is like becoming a more accepted part of like the zeitgeist. Like it's just, I don't know about you guys, but like I've been doing this nerd thing forever because it's not really.
kind of a life deal. You
I
know?
didn't choose it,
I have Superman
chose
tattooed on
you.
my arm.
right? Yes,
Yeah.
you get
It's
it,
not like because I just found out
My-
about him last year.
My earliest memories are playing Mega Man on NES.
right?
so-
Wait,
Yeah.
one or two.
Two, dude.
Two is the right answer.
Two.
Yeah,
I mean, one's great in its own way,
But
but
it's not two.
Not the same.
nothing is
and
two.
three, I feel like, is just I like three the best, dude.
Yeah.
Game Boy Pocket. for
Honestly,
me.
a big part of
Nice.
it is the music, dude.
Oh, the
the
music's
music
great.
in three, Snake Man.
Yeah.
First time I ever cried. Game Boy Pocket. Final Fantasy Legends 3.
Nice.
First time I ever
First
cried.
time you ever cried?
At a
Was it
video
like
game.
a
On a
bee
video
sting?
game.
Okay.
Okay, specifically. Just
Never
never
cried as a
before that.
baby. Just
Yeah.
video games.
But yeah, I
only.
mean, that is such a cool question too, because it's like, what? I mean, I kind of wonder that now. I mean, I know why, obviously, because it's more accessible. But
Yeah.
it's like, why now? I mean, it's not like this hasn't been around for a while.
I think a big part of it too, man, is it's kind of like band shirts and stuff. Like wearing a T-shirt is sort of like a visual extension of yourself, and you're telling
Yeah.
people something you're about. Whereas before, like wearing nerdy T-shirts, like before the kind of shift where like the Marvel Cinematic Universe has made it super cool to be into like those superheroes, even if you don't read the comics and stuff. It's okay to like broadcast that you're into like games and comics and nerdy stuff now. It's always been okay, like I always did.
Yeah.
But it's
Own it, man.
like the threshold of acceptability for it's like super high now, which is awesome, right? Because like now we're just people again, which we always technically were, but you don't have to convince
And
anyone of it.
For better or for worse, I think it's because it's like profitable now. Like nerdy stuff is profitable. Like
Sure.
those movies are making money. Like being a programmer is like awesome. Like
Oh, yeah.
Silicon Valley, like all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. Like
That's what's funny is like that's why a lot of people are shocked to find out that like we're as old as we are, right? Because like a lot of companies have started like way after because
let's
like
jump on that wave, yeah.
or no, I mean I'm sure that they're all doing it for altruistic reasons
Sure,
too.
yeah.
Like I don't think you can really honestly start a company as specific as like a geek clothing and culture company and do a good job at it if
Yeah.
your heart isn't actually in it. Because one thing geeks and nerds can see is when you're not being genuine. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like if you're not
Super
authentic,
quick, man.
it's not gonna work. You're gonna be like, so you guys don't actually mean what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Like I can tell. But yeah.
Yeah, that's why like you have to be I don't know, I've watched like some IGN hosts before and I'm like, this guy's like a TV guy before
Sure.
he's a gamer or a comic book dude.
Yeah, you can.
I'm
I
just
mean,
like, I don't
for
like
sure, you
this
can tell
guy.
the difference. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a big part of why, like through and through, it's important to us, is because it's like you don't want stuff to ring false.
Absolutely, yeah.
It'd
All
be
right.
nice to IGN. We're having them on the show next month. so-
Are we?
Yeah.
Are we
We're
really?
having Jace Hall on the show, yeah.
Dude,
oh,
I'm
dude.
down.
You know Jace Hall?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, because we went to that's where we ran into each other.
Yeah, duh.
Hey,
Twin Galaxies, yeah.
Extra props to IGN because I have never seen those people that were not very good on like presenting ever again on it. So they were like, nah, this guy's not working
Well,
out.
Jace Hall is the business.
Oh
dude.
man,
Like,
Jace
Yeah,
Hall's
yeah.
rad.
He's
We
exactly.
used to work with him too. Actually, Jinx had a line of Jace Hall T-shirts when he
That's
had his
so
show
crazy.
back in the day. Yeah.
I keep forgetting we met at the Twin Galaxies thing.
Right. I
I
mean,
feel like we've been friends for a lot longer than that.
well, I was so focused on playing pinball while I was there. Like,
Mm.
So was I. I felt like I was the only
That's
one
why
that
you
was
guys
more
bonded,
into the
dude.
pinball
Dude,
It's
than
you. I'm just kidding.
Well, dude,
Fight.
I gotta
fight.
I gotta take because DLOD's gonna be doing a show there possibly in
Nice.
October.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, we still have to like sign everything, but dude, like the video games are cool. Don't get me wrong, it was amazing. Like
Yeah, yeah.
So many great games, but that pinball room, dude.
It's-
like
well, I mean-
you just look at it and you're just like,
I can't guess
Oh
the
my
numbers in my
God.
head, but like it.
I said it has the most pinball machines in the world. That's what
I believe
one of
that.
the employees said. They have the most pinball machines in
Dang.
the entire world.
I mean,
in that location.
I'm super into
Dang.
pinball, and I couldn't think of a game that I didn't find there. Like
Really?
they were all there.
Well,
Dude.
the way they describe the way I think her name was Erin. She's like, oh, we like to do something with people who have never been to our pinball area before.
Yeah.
Think of like a pop icon, and go try to find it. And
Oh,
you,
yeah, they're
you
in there.
will be able to find it. Like
Totally.
we pride ourselves, and I was like Dolly Parton. I was
Oh,
like,
there's a Dolly
I'll
Parton
pick-
one.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
went. I found a Dolly Parton pinball. And she's like, try another one. And I was just like, dude, this
Ziggy
is
Stardust.
There's
crazy.
definitely.
Of course, there's got
There's
definitely
that
a David Bowie
that
one.
lends itself
the thing,
to
too,
it.
It
is
was
like
insane.
The
Dude.
60s and 70s, like mostly 70s in America, but like there was a wave of electromechanical machines there,
Yeah.
where like every company was producing so many per year that there was just an insane amount of pinball machines. Because like I really love the older electromechanical ones too. I love the newer. Like the 90s was like the second golden age of pinball. 'Cause,
Oh, yeah.
like, the best selling pinball machine of all time is Adam's Family. It's it outsold
I've
everything.
played a lot of Adam's
And
Family. Yeah.
what's funny is a lot of people don't know. Have you played Twilight Zone?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so they're both
course.
designed by the same guy, Pat Lawler.
Mhm.
By the way, I'm a pinball mechanic, so I'm gonna nerd out real hard, real quick.
No worries.
He did so well with Adam's Family, right? Like it just destroyed all records and stuff. That they basically told him, "You have carte blanche to do whatever you want with your next machine," and that
Like
ended
Peter
up being
Jackson
Twilight Zone.
with King Kong.
Right, and so Twilight Zone came out, and it was good, and
Not unlike.
I had That's your words. Those are your words.
I know. I'm saying them.
I might meet Peter Jackson one day.
Me too. And I'll be like, bro.
You're gonna tell me, you're gonna be like, let's be real.
I like King Kong. Just gonna say.
We have one in the office. We have a Twilight Zone actually at the Jinx headquarters.
Yeah.
That's
And
amazing.
it's the most complicated pinball machine. So in the 90s, there were these boards that you could use to like control lights, and it has a bunch of magnets and stuff. Then there's an extension board you could put on if somehow you possibly made more stuff than those boards could handle. Every single switch on every single board is entirely full of stuff. They literally put as many things as they could actually put onto the machine, because he was like, well, I'll do whatever I want then. It's so good. It's also really hard to fix because there's so many things that can break.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, I nerd out on pinball super hard, but the 90s was a great time because you had like Terminator 2. That was a great game. Dude. There were two giants of pinball design in the 90s.
Yeah.
Those are the ones with gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat
yeah.
Lawler designed all the ones that are like kind of complicated and have a bunch of really crazy stuff. Like Fishtails was him, and basically anyone where there's like a lot of crazy stuff that stops your ball. A lot of them were Lawler, and then anyone that's really fast and plays with a lot of like speed and loops and flow, those are all Steve Ritchie. So
It's always the crazy stuff that stops my balls. Why are you laughing?
Your
I'm
words,
serious.
Gabe.
No innuendo there.
Yeah,
I'm
no, I mean that's a solid pinball point for sure. But
Thank
yeah,
you, Gabe.
that place was awesome.
I would just have to throw a
Sicko.
wrench in like the machine. I don't know. It's
Please don't throw the wrench in the machine. They're really hard to fix. They're really hard.
And you never use wrenches on them. That's the wrong tool. Do you use wrenches on
I
them?
mean, sometimes.
Okay. Yeah.
There are very
Allen
specialized
wrenches, right?
tools. Yeah, there's some Allens. You need some. There's a lot of everything's usually bolted on at the bottom and stuff.
needle nose.
Yeah, a lot of needle nose. You need some leaf switch adjusters. We can get real technical. Welcome to Pinball Talk.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you on another
Wow, and
podcast
pinball. Let's do
and
it.
talk about pinball.
I can do that. That's a dangerous Pandora's box to open.
All right. Last question is from @SophieB.
Sophie.
Right? There's a lot of
B.
E's there. Do you feel like you have fit into a certain style? Do you feel like you have to fit into a certain style to buy Jinx clothes, or are your sales pretty broad?
I'm gonna say no right off the bat.
You did it,
That's just
and
me.
I'm proud of you.
I mean, I think the certain style, just from what I'm like taking from all this, is that you're passionate about something that you want to communicate to others, and a nerd culture thing.
And it's for everyone.
And you know what's funny is like,
Do you wear T-shirts? Do you wear hoodies? Do you wear sweatshirts?
Do you
Like-
wear clothing?
Yeah.
do you have a torso?
Yeah.
That's a starting point. We don't want to be torso.
Arms are helpful. Yeah.
Not necessary, you know.
Yeah. Helpful, however.
You really got to probably go torso on it though.
Yeah.
Our clothing may be offensive if you don't have a torso.
But no, man. Like I said, it's you don't have to be a certain type of person. I mean, it all depends on if you like our shirts, right? Like we
Yeah.
can't design to make everyone happy, so we just try to design to make ourselves and hopefully the fans happy. Like because we're fans of the games too, so
Yeah.
you know, like we talk to our friends and like ideas come in from people, and like we talk to our, you know, like the companies that make the games themselves too. We always talk with them, and I try and talk to the community managers who like deal with their own community and ask them like, oh, you know, like what are the players super stoked on? So it's like a bunch of different sources coming together. It's hard to say if like we're gonna make a shirt that is gonna appeal to everybody.
Yeah.
But so like it's not really so much do you have to conform to a style as do we make something you like. I mean, we try to make shirts that like fit different groups, right? We try and make those more generalized shirts for people who don't necessarily want a super core reference, but we do try and make those really core shirts. A lot of those are for us, you know what I mean? Because we like them. But no, I don't think that's like super antithetical to how we would want it to be, right? Which is like, game is for everybody. Like gaming is such a, that whole like, what's the threshold for gaming? It's like, it's a self title, isn't it? Right? Like no one should be the gatekeeper of who's allowed to use that.
I think people overthink it so much. Okay, it's the same thing as going to a theme park or going to see a movie. It's like, it's fun. It should be fun. It doesn't mean like, oh, if I enjoy this, like, what am I becoming? It's like, no, like just try a game out. Like people
Somebody
play
who
with their
appreciates
kids.
fun is what you're becoming.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the weird things I think
you
with
might have a little fun.
like gaming is a lot of people lose sight of the idea that gaming can be an aspect of your lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like I play in bands. I mean, like you play in a band, obviously. Like that doesn't mean you're not a gamer, right? That doesn't mean you're a band guy. You can be all of those things. You can be like a friend and a boyfriend or a father or a brother or a sister and a gamer. So
You
like
can be a brother and a sister.
oh well, That's gonna get complicated.
Probably these days you could.
Yeah.
There's a lot of recent
The
developments in
technology we have
science, man.
today. Yeah.
But you can't be all of those things at once. How about that?
Yeah.
But everyone is something else besides just being a gamer. But like, who's to say that like just because you play games that I don't like find challenging or as fun that
Yeah.
like you're not a gamer? I'm not going to apply that title to you or take it away. That shouldn't be, because again, like, don't we want like our community to like be inclusive and be like, yeah, welcome to the club, man. Like,
yeah.
I'm not the rule setter. Like, I love pinball. If you told me you hate pinball, we can still be gamer buddies, because like that doesn't necessarily, like, I'm not objectively right about the things that I love being the right things.
Yeah.
Gaming is pretty good in that regard, I think. And there's some communities that aren't, like, anime is the first one I think of. There's so many anime purists
Right.
that are like, oh, you watch Cowboy Bebop? Come on.
That's
I don't even know what they watch because
I
I'm
like
like,
Cowboy
it's really
watched
good.
The Last
Bebop's really
Airbender?
good. Samurai Champloo
last-
is really good too.
The Last Airbender is like one of my favorites.
Oh, it's so
And-
good.
and
I
people,
watched it in like
hate on
one
that all the
sitting.
time. Yeah.
I waited way too long, but then
But it's
I got
American,
to watch
dude.
it all. All right.
It is and it isn't. But we don't need to get into that right now.
No,
But
I'm playing like
Yeah.
the devil's
Yeah.
advocate
But yeah.
purist.
I watched the first 4 episodes of The Last Airbender,
All right.
and I went and bought the entire series
Nice.
at Best Buy.
No, I
Yeah,
mean, I
spent like
watched it and it was
$100.
great. It was really, really good. I
blew my
usually
mind.
don't watch like a ton of anime. Like, it's a case by case thing. Like, of course, I
Yeah.
love like Miyazaki stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like,
dude, of course.
universally-
Spirited Away was what broke me into like the
Nice.
anime. Yeah.
My dad rented Princess Mononoke for like our family when I was like 10 years old.
Oh.
Your
He's
dad
like,
is
yeah,
awesome.
this said it like won awards and it looked really interesting. And Billy Bob Thornton's the voice of the American dub, so he just like rented it, like VHS of it, and we watched it. And my
That's
mom was like,
awesome.
"This is kind of violent," and my dad was like, "It's so good though." And like me and my
So
sister are
good.
just glued to the TV, just like enthralled by
If
it.
you ever want to drive someone really, really crazy, I used to do this to my friend Adam. I used to intentionally mispronounce his name Mizuyaki. Like, for years and years, he thought I just couldn't do it.
I always
right.
think I always say Miyazaki. I always
Yeah,
feel
it's-
like I'm pronouncing it wrong.
No, but
actually.
that's
That's
what it's
correct,
supposed
yeah.
to be, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But so for years he thought that he kept correcting me.
Mizuyaki?
Yeah, like, oh yeah,
Nice.
you know, like Hideo Mizuyaki, and he's like, it's Miyazaki.
I
And
like how
then-
you said it with like a Southern California surfer
Oh,
dude.
yeah,
accent.
dude.
But then he heard me talking to somebody one day, and I didn't know he was there, and I said it right, and he flipped out because he realized I'd been trolling him for like so many
That's
years.
awesome, dude.
It was like 2 or 3 years before he realized that I knew, and he was not pumped. It was so good.
So how do you say it? It's Miyazaki.
Mizuyaki.
Mizuyaki.
Mizuyaki. It's
Oh,
hard.
like
to,
misoyaki.
Misoyaki.
Yeah, also, if you want to troll some
Okay.
WoW players, what is it? Desalis. You're like, oh yeah, hanging out in
yeah.
Desalis, and he's like,
That hurts.
it's Desalis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
the solace.
Solace.
See, there
Which
you go.
would be like the opposite of like what, because like solace is like peaceful and
Right.
nice, and desolus is like scary. When you first go there in vanilla,
oh yeah, no,
there's
it's
like
not
there's
great.
giant insects and there's like there's warring factions and stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
It's usually
That was
it's
a cool
not
zone.
very. It's pretty rare that I'm in this position where I don't know what you
You
guys
don't
are
know what
talking
I'm
about.
talking
Yeah, that's
We
crazy.
did it.
in gaming. Yes, finally.
That's
Woo.
crazy.
No, that's just deep cuts WoW jokes. It's okay.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Super.
I
deep
was
cuts.
always the
yeah.
guy with my friends that they would ask me how to pronounce stuff in games because like I like studied languages and stuff in high
Yeah.
So
school.
you're very literate.
So they like trusted me to like do the best pronunciation from like what was intended by the
Nice.
creators, like all of like the Norse stuff
Yeah.
in like Jotunheim, you know, like in WoW and stuff.
I went to school for photography. I was a commercial photographer, but
Yeah.
then I went back and I was actually studying English linguistics. So
Mm.
I'm like a pronunciation nerd too. And also I think
Love
it has
it.
to do with my mom. Like, since she's deaf,
Mm.
my mom is deaf. So
We should have gotten that out of the way at the beginning.
yeah,
but
my mom's deaf. Just stuck
Yeah.
that out there. That was the conversation
Sorry,
we were having
guys.
at the beginning. Is we were talking about her.
Yeah.
And like, enunciation is important because if someone's reading your lips, you need to be able to like clearly enunciate the words you're saying, especially if it's like a longer multi-syllabic word. But that's why Adam could not figure out why I could not do it right.
Because he was like, "You're usually the
Right,
best
you know.
at this, dude. Just break it down into the pieces, man."
You know what I tried to read though, and I gave up on was, are you a Tolkien fan at all?
To an extent.
Okay, so
I'm
the
not,
answer
like, a
you're
crazy
gonna
nerd
give
out
me
guy.
is no, because I was
Oh.
reading Children of Hurin, which is
No,
like
no.
the way later one that got finished by his son and stuff.
Mhm.
And it was like trying to read the Bible because it starts with like Hinflor begat, and it's just like all consonants, one vowel, more consonants, a couple apostrophes, and like an accent mark. And so
like
I
a
thought,
Murloc named it. Yeah.
it's just in my head. I can't do this. I just can't pronounce. Like, I can't figure out how to pronounce all of these names. I'm gonna go listen to Christopher Lee do the audiobook version.
Mm-hmm.
Still couldn't do it. I still couldn't.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Silmarillion. I haven't read that one, but Silmarillion's a little bit like that too.
It's
and Silmarillion is dry.
So imagine
dude.
if someone wrote like a textbook about the Silmarillion, and then
The
it had like
Silmarillion is
all the
already
joy
almost
of
like
that.
a textbook.
Oh, it gets drier. It is the driest.
Dang, dude.
I think that I'm
You're
willing
in
to
the
go
desert, it
on
gets
record
dry.
saying that Children of Húrin is objectively the driest fantasy text I've ever tried to read.
You're in the desert drinking salt water.
Yeah,
pretty
it's,
much.
It's not. I'm sure it's great. Like I think it's more of just like a Tolkien lore document for people who are super into it because the storyline was so hard to follow because of how intricate it was, which is already kind of a Tolkien thing in the first place.
My friend read it. She took Elvish at Berkeley.
So she might have had a better name.
Yeah.
Like the names are all in Elvish, which is why they're impossible. Oh,
But
that was a
That's
solid
rad.
nerd rant. Thank you.
Yeah. Have you ever studied Welsh at all, or like
No.
seen any of their names or words?
No, I've seen some.
It sounds
but-
a lot like that.
Yeah.
It's like 40 syllables long, and most of it is consonants.
It's so hard. I'm just trying to work on English. I want to be
Yeah.
monolingual. I want to be
English
able
is
to say
an
one.
amazing language, though. So
That's so funny.
some argue the best language on earth.
Oh.
I might be one of those people.
Sorry, internet. Send
No,
all hate
it's-
mail to Digital
No,
Wizards of Doom.
It's not like an elitist thing.
Jinx.
Do we want to get into this real quick? English is made up of so many different parts that we have so many different influences. Our words take like origins from mostly from like French, Latin, from like the Normans, and then it's got Anglo-Saxon and it's got Germanic roots. Those are like the three main ones. So there's like three different vibes of language going on at the same time. So you can use like a word like screech, like super onomatopoeic.
Right.
And then you've got like the Latin stuff, which is like made up of these roots, and you can like guess what they are. And they all have such different vibes. It's amazing. I love English.
No,
I'm
English is
so
super,
turned on
super
right now,
good.
dude.
Dude.
I freaking love you, bro.
I remember someone said, what was it, like English as a language like corners other languages in dark alleys and rifles through their pockets for language parts.
Yeah,
Just like,
dude.
give me that. We're going to take that. That's ours now.
Give me a rendezvous. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
It's like a melting pot.
Oh.
Fruit salad is the
Ironically, it's better than the melting pot, which is not great fondue. Also going to go on record with that. Sorry, melting pot. What you got?
I've never had that place.
Don't. Oh, wait.
All right.
No,
Okay.
dude, speak your mind.
Actually, they're a sponsor.
I've never
so-
been.
Oh, that's going to get rough.
I've never been, but it was always because I was like, fondue's good, but it's like fun to do with like your buddies at home,
Right.
you know, and you buy all
It's,
the stuff.
it's very, very simple to figure out how to apply the proper amount of heat to cheese.
to melt cheese.
I
Yeah.
used to have brie parties.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
when I say that, I've only had like 3 or 4. So
But
it's not
still,
like
you
real.
have
that's
one
enough to
and you-
pluralize it,
yeah.
is all I'm saying. Right?
True.
But
You have two.
I had brie parties, and yeah, I had like this. There's like this really cool cinnamon brie I had, and there was like this French like brie. I had like this Mongolian brie, and which I don't even know how that's possible, but it's
Anything's
Mongolian.
possible.
It was so freaking good, and we'd watch anime, we'd watch like
Nice.
science fiction movies, and it was sick.
rad.
It was really sick. I should do that again.
That sounds like a way classier than like a pizza party.
You want to
We're-
come to the next brie party?
I mean, I'm gumming.
Okay.
Oh, are you inviting me officially? I don't have
Yeah.
to stand outside this time?
No.
Yeah, just
I'm-
smelling.
Was that you at the
Just
last
outside.
one?
That looks like some
Shadowy
really good
figure.
brie. What are they? What is that? Akira? Sick.
Is that Akira?
Go away, Hunter. We just ran out.
Hunter, go away.
Oh man, yeah, give me flashbacks.
Nice.
Dude, all right, you're definitely invited to the
Sweet.
next one. You
All
can
right.
pick the sci-fi movie.
Awesome. Oh man. Oh, that's gonna get real good. I like really bad movies. It's
Yeah.
on.
No.
I'll bring some trauma films too.
I love movies. Like I love film in general.
Yeah.
So it's
You should talk to my roommate is in this really good band Bogsy and the Argonauts, and they have a song called Sci-Fi Movie Night about watching terrible sci-fi movies with your friends.
that's awesome.
Because he's like a huge trauma film fan, and he loves watching like really bad sci-fi films and stuff. So
Into it,
like
dude.
our house parties usually turn into like, let's all watch Halloween H2O,
That's freaking sick, dude.
which is we just watched it, so we went and saw. I went and saw Mad Max for the 3rd time because it's
Yeah.
a responsible thing to do, and then came home. And they were watching Halloween H2, and I came in the beginning, and I'd actually never seen it before. And I was like, "What happened?" And they were like, "Trust me, it's not important." And so I watched the last half of it, and at the end, I remember being like, what still happened? Like I still don't understand.
Like,
Was
it's
there
still
a plot?
not important.
And they were like, "No."
Have you seen Hellride?
No.
Oh, I still need to watch
Have
that.
you seen Hellraid? Yeah,
not.
it's so freaking awesome.
You watched it?
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't
Dude.
say anything about it though, because
Okay.
like the
Our
whole
last
movie,
guest
it's
was in
very,
that movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we had Dean Del Rey on
Oh, okay.
our last episode,
Comedian
and,
slash actor slash awesome dude.
and it's Quentin Tarantino's next installment of The Grindhouse.
Oh, rad. Okay. I
And
enjoyed
it's
that.
So
Yeah.
freaking, but it's Quentin Tarantino, so like you almost can't explain any scene in
Sure.
that movie without ruining it.
Did you?
So,
You know what I thought was funny about Grindhouse is that Robert Rodriguez didn't cameo in either of the films, but Quentin Tarantino was in both of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, Quentin Tarantino. He's like, I've got all the cameos in all the movies. Are you doing a movie, Robert? I'm in your movie now.
Have you gone on his YouTube channel? He has a cooking channel.
No,
Robert Rodriguez has a cooking channel on how to make all the dishes that they eat in all of his movies.
Oh wow.
that's pretty.
Yeah,
rad.
he has one. You know, like the chorizo that Johnny Depp eats in Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and it's so good that he goes and kills the chef.
Yeah.
He has. You can like make that
Make
dish
that?
that he makes.
How's he still alive though? Because
Crazy.
Johnny
it's
Depp
Robert
hasn't heard
Rodriguez,
about it
dog.
yet.
yeah, Johnny Depp hasn't had it. He's like, Johnny can't have this chorizo. I got more Spy Kid movies to make.
I got children too.
Well, thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
that
Thanks
was
for having
rad.
me out. This was fun. I was
Absolutely.
worried that it was going to be the Awkward Human podcast, but that was great.
No,
Because of me, not you. Obviously, I'm bringing that to
I
the
watched
table.
you nerds
You're-
online before I came.
No,
Yeah.
you're in safe territory. Around
All right,
us, my
cool.
friend, so, yeah,
Awesome.
cool.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for your questions.
Thank you, Hunter.
All right. Awesome.
Oh my God. Let's text boys.
Let's do it. How about Snapchat boys?
Oh.
Way better.
Oh my God, we're on camera right now.
No, we're not.
Let's say thank you to all the people that are hooking us up right now.
Thank you to all the people who are hooking us up right now.
Yeah.
Like
Say who they are though.
Image Comics, Vertigo, Jinx Clothing for coming out. Thank you guys so much. That was sick, Hunter.
Yeah.
I don't care if your real name's not Hunter.
His name's James Bond.
You're always gonna be Hunter Bond to me.
Hunter James Bond.
The only person to ever kill James Bond is gonna be Hunter Bond. That's the way. That's the way that
'Cause
James
he has to
Bond
hunt-
series has to
yeah.
end. That's just has to.
He's like Craven,
just has to.
Spider-Man.
So yeah, we're gonna go read some comics. You
I'm
guys,
reading. I'm just keep talking.
Thank you for watching our show.
Villainous
Seriously.
Lair, thank you for hosting us here.
Villainous Lair.
Meltdown Comics for being
Meltdown
awesome
Comics.
and supporting this little thingy we're doing here. And
That's crazy.
yeah, thank you guys for watching our show. Should we text some boys though?
Let's take some boys.
Okay. I'm gonna text Jeremy. Who are you gonna text?
My brother.
All right.
Don't ask.
This has been the Digital Lizards Earth Doom Show live at Meltdown. 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 Meltdown.